Yes, good morning. It is that time of the weekend. It's my late shift at work, so it's time to do another layering video. And you notice I didn't actually say weird layering video today because this one doesn't feel quite as weird anyway. It certainly feels a bit more suitable because it's a product you are meant to rub into your skin. And it's this one here by Lush. It's called Lime Bounty and it's a body butter. Essentially, it's just something you put on after you've come out of the shower, hydrates your skin, and actually it smells very nice. As the name suggests, Lime Bounty. It's kind of this coconut lime smell. It's kind of very much like a summer sun cream with a little bit of citrus, like a little lime mojito by the side. And what I'm trying to do, if you haven't seen these videos before, I'm essentially trying to see if I can find a product that can help improve the performance, the strength of a fragrance that I've got that's quite weak. And the one I'm looking at today is actually another Lush sort of clone, essentially. It's one of the Lush body spray clones. It's this one here called Milky Way. Now this one, the performance, yeah, is terrible. It's basically so watered down. It's like 99% water, it feels like, and 1% perfume, but it did only cost me about £2 to £3. I can't really complain for a 250ml bottle. But yeah, hopefully today we're going to see if this can improve the performance of this, and we're going to test that by going out for a run. So I'm going to do 3 checkpoints on my morning run and just see if it's stronger on the side where I've put the body butter or just the side where I've just put the fragrance on its own without the layering. So yeah, going to quickly put this on, do my stretching, and then 10 minutes will go by, and yeah, we'll see how strong the fragrance is with the layering. I should just read the info actually as well on this Lime Bounty before we go on to the layering. So it says, put the lime in the coconut and let your skin drink it up. Apply this gloriously rich cream to anywhere that needs smoothing and making lovely. Now I have to say, it is so thick. It's very oily almost. It just feels like there's this really oily cream on there. And I'm hoping that's going to help, because when those things are like that, it doesn't wash off as easily. It doesn't wash off with your sweat, but it might block my pores a little bit. But let's apply this one. This fragrance here says it's got a cream swirl spot with delicious lemon brightness. That's what I pick up with this. It's kind of a sweet lemon. There's a bit of vanilla in this as well. Very gourmand, but yeah, delicious. It's certainly not heavy citrus or anything like that. It's not heavy anything. It's so weird. You can see even the sort of fragrance, it just drips off your arm with this one. So the side without my watch on is going to be the side with the Lime Bounty layering, and then this side here is going to be the one with just the fragrance on as well. So yeah, I'm trying to do about every sort of three miles essentially. So we'll do 9 to 10 miles on my run today, and we'll just see how long this one lasts. So I'm hoping this Lime Bounty will not only make it smell even more summery with that lime citrus combination, but also just improve that performance, ultimately make the fragrance last a bit longer. Because actually Milky Bar, which I got in the shop called, oh, what shop did I get it in? It wasn't Savers. It's come back to me. It was B&M. I've literally just stood here for 2 minutes racking my brains, but it is only 5 to 7. That's allowed a bit of time anyway for me to do my stretching, and now we can smell the fragrance and see what it's like with the layering and without the layering. So I'm going to start without the layering today with my watch side, just to see if I can smell the fragrance at all. Yes, I can. Actually, it's very strong at the moment. It's very nice. If you like a creamy lemon smell, that's certainly not on that sort of sparkling citrus vibe, but the vanilla that's tamed it down, it is really nice. It almost feels like a nice musky washing. It's very tame though. It's soft. That's the word I'm looking for. It's soft. Very inoffensive, but very clean. You know, the vanilla there though certainly does tone any sharpness from the citrus down, and I think that will help lend itself to having a little bit more performance, because the performance on this is very poor. And let's try the side for Lime Bounty. Wow, yeah, right. There's one thing here. This is definitely mixing. And actually, since I've applied the fragrance, I don't know if you can really see that, but it's really glistening. And that sort of creamy oil that felt like it's almost sticky on my skin just feels like it's sitting on top again now. It's almost like it's fizzing to the top of my skin. And that lime is certainly the most prominent thing. If you were to smell my arm on this side at the moment, you'd say the most prominent thing is the lime. But you do get a hint of that fragrance that you do, you know, that vanilla sweetness in the background. What I'd say here is the lime is certainly the most prominent on this side without the layering. Obviously, it's more the fragrance, it's the vanilla overtaking the lemon, as you'd expect, because it's more of a dry down note than in the opening. But there's no two ways about it. The layering has completely changed the smell more than anything else. I wouldn't say anything's particularly stronger at the moment, but I think it's really about it lasting longer today rather than being a strong projector. So yeah, going to put this one back away. We're going to head out for a run and we'll do all the checkpoints. So yeah, looking like a nice dry morning anyway. I'll see you out there. Oh, it is chilly this morning. We're in the middle of May, and it's mad to think a year ago I was literally about, 8 days away from my ultra marathon. I was training for that. 1 year on, I'm still doing the channel, but I'm sniffing my arm to smell whether weird creams and stuff increase the longevity of my fragrances. But there we go. It's amazing how things happen, aren't they? I'll do an ultra next year, maybe. But there's Smell My Arm. We're on to checkpoint 1. It's been about an hour since I applied the layering. We'll see what we can detect. Okay. Okay, well, the positive is, maybe because it is a little bit colder this morning, undoubtedly I can smell the fragrances on both sides. And I'm really impressed with this body butter so far. Initially, when I smelled the side with the layering, I was getting the lime straight away, and I was thinking, oh, that's all I'm getting. But almost as quickly as I noticed it, it went back into that creamy lemon that I've been talking about from this milky fragrance I've got, Milky Way. And it's very, very nice. And then the other side of the layering, you just don't get that lime opening. But other than that, it feels exactly the same. Now, I'll be honest with you, does it feel really comfortable on my left arm? No, it doesn't. So let's say I was sort of doing a workout, or it is a hot day where you might want to wear things that are a little bit more citrusy, like this fragrance. It does feel like it's going to block your pores. You know, like when you sometimes put sun cream on, and you just want to wash it off by the end of the day. It feels at the moment a little bit like that with this layering. And I think when I get warm and fit with exercise, that's not something you always really want. But it's not like, it doesn't feel like it's going to stain or anything. It feels like it's really absorbed into the skin. But it's just that feeling sometimes. It makes you feel a little bit dirty, a bit grubby. But other than that, in terms of the smell, very, very good. In terms of the performance, it's probably about 80-85% as strong as it was when I applied it an hour ago. And then on the other side, just the fragrance on its own, it's probably about 75-80% strong. It's just that real strong, nice, uplifting lime opening you get for a split second before you smell the fragrance. It's really kicking through. Other than that, so far, checkpoint 1, I am impressed. I tell you what, it's only been about another half an hour since I did my last checkpoint, but it's really warmed up. I don't want to take my hat off because my hair looks such a mess, but it feels a good 2 to 3 degrees warmer than it was because it's not quite as early now, and obviously I'm warming up for running. So it's going to be interesting to see if anything's changed here on the second checkpoint. Let's try with the layering. Okay. I'm without. Okay, that's quite interesting. I'll be honest with you, on this occasion, I'm not particularly detecting any lime. And look, even though body butters and stuff, you obviously want them to smell nice, their sole purpose is to hydrate the skin, rather than them being a really strong perfume, a strong performer in that. That's not their sole focus, that's why you buy fragrances. And maybe that's why it's worn off now. It does feel like, just smell it again. Oh, it's very faintly there, but you're having to really inhale to pick that up. It's now the fragrance is kicking through. I mean, I cannot fault the fact the fragrance is still pretty strong. I'm talking about, it's probably about 75-80%. It's maybe got slightly weaker, but I think that's more due to the lime wearing off than anything else in the fragrance. And actually that's quite interesting because the other side doesn't seem to be as strong now. I feel like that one's dropping to that sort of 60-50% range. But that might be because this is quite watery. There might be a bit of transfer onto my gloves. And it may just be a case where, again, I'm warming up and that water's kind of evaporating on my skin, whereas with the body butter, which is a lot more oily and a lot more creamy, that's making the fragrance stick on it a bit more. And again, it does still feel a little bit uncomfortable, a bit dirty on that arm, you know. I think when I have a shower later, I'll be glad to kind of wet or rub that oil off because it does feel very sticky. You know, you wouldn't want this under any sort of clothing. You know, you'd want it on exposed skin because it's a bit unpleasant other than that. But yeah, the lime's definitely worn off, but the fragrance is definitely lasting. And I'm really surprised, honestly, from my initial impressions when I bought this one. I tried it in the shop, I sprayed it on, and almost 5 to 10 seconds later, it was like, is it even still there? Today, there's no doubt it is still there and it's doing well. And at this rate, with one more checkpoint to go, I wouldn't be surprised if this lasts me the whole run. which I did not expect at all today. So yeah, very impressed so far, and the layering's definitely working. On to the last stretch of my run now. I've really warmed up, the zips come down. I'm really tempted to take the hat off, but I'm just dreading my hat hair around. Let's film my arm anyway, let's see what we can detect. Okay, well, it's kind of good news and bad news. There's no two ways about it, it is starting to wear off. So on my left side with the layering, you're probably talking, it's not bad considering we're nearly sort of 2 hours in. Probably about 40-50%. It's certainly still detectable, but it's one where it'd almost only be detectable to yourself. And if someone's literally almost just lying on you, have their nose digging into your skin, you know, they're not going to notice you walking by. They're not going to notice it if you're just sitting even in a room. It's not going to fill a room or anything like that. It definitely doesn't have that kick about it. But that doesn't surprise me. You know, you're not going to suddenly have this thing, this layering, it's going to suddenly make the fragrance stronger to the point it's gone from absolutely barely non-existent after 10 minutes to nuclear strength. So I completely get that. But there's no choice about it. The line's completely worn off. Any of the perfume or the scent within that body butter is definitely gone now. And again, I'm not particularly surprised by that. It went on the second checkpoint. And as we touched on earlier, the whole sort of point of that isn't to be particularly strong. It's just kind of really there to hydrate your skin and make your skin feel better. And one thing I can't knock Lush is this body butter is very good. You know, when you get like a cheap one, it can be quite watery itself and wear off quite quickly. Or alternatively, I've had some cheap aftershave balms and I've had a chemical burn across my whole face after applying it. You don't feel like that with Lush. It feels very natural, it feels very thick and gloopy, and I do think that has helped the performance of this fragrance, because on the other side you're probably only talking, and if I'm being honest, I'm stretching here, 10% as strong. Again, I think if I was feeling someone else's arm and they said, oh, can you tell what this fragrance is, I think the first thing I'd say to them is I can't really smell anything, to be honest with you. So there's definitely a weaker performance on that side. And I do think a lot of that's not coming down to the transfer on my gloves or anything like that, because I've got gloves on both sides. I think it's purely that body butter has trapped the fragrance, whereas because it's so watery in its complexion, it's just almost sweated off my arm on the side without the layering. So I'm quite impressed. And what we'll do one more checkpoint as well. So what we'll do, a head back essentially from my run, and then we'll do indoor impressions just to see if there's any difference when I'm inside, because sometimes when you're outside like now, apologies, that was a horrible noise, but a snotty nose can sometimes mean you don't get a full inhale of what you really want to tell. So I'll have a better judgment of it when I get back, and then we'll give our overall thoughts. So we are back, and I finally got my coffee. I've been looking forward to this all morning. Now I'm looking forward though also to seeing if this fragrance has lasted with the body butter on top. Now in terms of the sort of feeling of it, it has worn off now. There's a little bit, you can tell there's something a bit oily, almost like if you've got oily skin in general, but it's not uncomfortable now. It doesn't feel like it's blocking my pores in the same way. But let's give it a smell. Let's smell the other side. That's still about 10%, so it's been about 2.5 hours now. That's about 10%. There's no two ways about it though. That's about 30%, I would say. It's definitely stronger than the other side. Now, whether that's the body butter, I'm not sure. I think it is though. Now, obviously, initially it was the smell of the lime. The lime has completely disappeared. And I'm just kind of getting that sort of pastry cream sort of smell to it, with that lemon and vanilla. And it's not bad. That would get me through the morning on a cold day. If you're in a cold environment, you're not getting too hot and bothered, too stressed, that will do the job. And I just think it's purely because of that oiliness. I've said about this before. These oily creams, oily substances, they tend to lock in the fragrance, and they just, again, I suppose it's like perfume oils, isn't it? They last longer on your skin than if it's something that's really watery. And this is a watery fragrance, and I kind of feel like I've added the oil to it, and it's just clung that fragrance together. So very, very impressed. This one has done a lot better than obviously some of the other weird ones I've done. And I'm very happy to say that I would give that a big thumbs up. So body butter from Lush does seem to help the performance of the fragrance on my skin. Of course, that would vary between people. And if there was a non-scented one of this, I think it'd be even better. But it isn't a particularly strong one, this Lime Bounty. My mum hasn't used it too much. It's actually her cream because it's just so thick And I think that's what you need though if you're layering fragrances. So yeah, definitely a big success today. And yeah, wasn't as unpleasant and smelly as some of the others that I'll probably be doing coming up very soon. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed this one today. And yeah, plenty more videos to come. Hoping to do a fragrance film tomorrow once I get back from work. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this today. Catch you later.